Hi, this is Said Fauzi from Ignite Solution Egypt. In this video, I will walk you through step by step in backing up and restoring in SharePoint. Many videos are available on the internet discussing how to plan your data protection, so I won't go through that. This session is just a practical and instructive step-by-step demo in how to protect your data through backing up and how to deal with disaster in situation and restore your data back. The first thing I want to refer to here that all information in this video apply to both SharePoint 2013 and SharePoint 2010. The procedure and scripts are all the same. Although you will find my demo is on SharePoint 2010 machine, but it is still the same steps on SharePoint 2013 too. What we will cover. So, what we will cover in this session? I will answer two questions really. The first one is, what should you back up? You have to back up from different places really. When you want to protect your data against the disasters, you have to back up from within SharePoint itself, from SQL Server, and from IIS. The second question is, what should you do in the case of disaster? How to get back your data? In fact, I have 13 disaster cases. I will show you practically how to get back your data in case of each. First, I want to show you the SharePoint site that we will protect in this demo. Here we have a farm consists of one site collection and many sites for many departments. I have many data that I do care about protecting against loss in many libraries in every department. For example, in IT department, I have IT doc. I have IT doc library where I have many documents I concern about and I need to protect. To prepare our backup, I have created a folder called backup. And I share it. In this folder I will keep my backup files. It is required that your path for the backup files to be shared folder in your network. Let's start answering our first question. What should you backup? SharePoint backup. You have to backup from many places. The first place is SharePoint itself. In SharePoint, you have many levels of protection you might be concerned about. The whole farm, the site collection, sites, lists and libraries, and items. Let's start with the item level. How to protect every item the user adds to a list or a library. In fact, you have two risks you should concern about the item. The first is the bad update. It means that someone updated a file or a list item with a wrong data, and you want to recover to an old version of the document. Second is the complete deletion of the item from the list or library. For the first risk, bad update of an item, you simply enable the versioning in the library containing the sensitive document. But remember, that is always in the taxes of the size of storage available for the library. Every time the document updated, the old copy stays on the hard disk and available in history beside the new one too. Let me show you how to enable the versioning in the library. For protecting your items in the library from deletion, you have two-stage recycle bin that can be used. The first stage is the user recycle bin, and by default it remains 30 days before it goes to the site collection recycle bin. You can adjust the days the item will remain in recycle bin from the central administration, like I will show you now. In central administration, choose application management. Click the web application, then click manage web application. Then choose the application, the web application containing the site collection you want to manage, and from the menu, for example here SharePoint 8, from the menu choose general settings. In the recycle bin section, you can adjust the number of days the items in recycle bin will be deleted after, and adjust the quota for the second stage recycle bin. Here is 30 days and 50% of the site quota. Now let's go up one level. What if we want to protect our libraries and lists from deletion? You have to back up the list or the library you want to protect. You can do that in two ways: through central administration or scripts for PowerShell. I want to mention something here. The graphical interface method in central administration doesn't allow you to schedule your backup. PowerShell scripts allow you to save your scripts in a PS1 file. You can schedule it to run in regular time. So if you prefer the GUI method, you have to make it yourself manually every time. Now let me show you the both methods. In this demo, I will back up the IT-doc library, which are under the IT site. In the central administration, choose from the left backup and restore. Under granular backup section, choose export a list or site. If it is not your site collection, click the arrow and choose change site collection to get your site collection. Click the arrow next to the site to choose your site. I want the IT here. Next to the list, choose the library you want. I wanted the IT doc, so I will choose it. In the file name, write a path to the share folder and a file name. For example, this is the name of my server, and this is the folder where backup, and here is a name, for example library underscore IT doc, and I will give it extension of back as a backup. You can choose override the existing file if you want to write over the file if it is exist. If you want to export the security belongs to this library, the users and the permission, check export fault security. If you want to export all versions of the documents, choose all versions from the export versions combo box, and then click start export. This screen is refreshed by default. You can refresh. Okay. So after a while you will find your backup files are generated here in the backup folder. Now let me show you how to backup the same library using the PowerShell commandlet. Here is I have prepared a script in a PS1 file. All I have to do is drag it and drop it in PowerShell. But let us see what is in the script first. The commandlet is export SharePoint web. And in the attribute identity, I give it the path to the IT web site I want to backup from, and I add item URL attribute, and I give it the name of the library I want to backup, and I can have the options of including security and the options of include all versions. I have to say all, and in the path attribute I will give the path to the backup folder that I have shared in the SharePoint 2010 server. Okay, and I will give it for sure the name of the file that will be the backup file. I will name it this time library underscore IT doc underscore PS. So it is distinguished from the one I made before in the central administration. Let us run the script and see the result. To run the script, I'll go to the SharePoint 2000 management shell. It's not you do not run the SharePoint the PowerShell. You run the SharePoint management shell. Okay, you can run it. It is run under the credential of administrator anyway. Okay, so I will just drag it and drop it here. Then I'll press enter and let it work. I can go now and see okay, I will see now that IT doc underscore BS is appearing in the backup. Protection at site level. Now let us go up one level. How to protect your site from deletion. You also have two options to do that, through the central administration or PowerShell commandlets. Let me show you that. In this demo, I will back up the IT site. In central administration, I will choose backup and restore from the left, and under granular backup section I will choose export a site or list, and as I did before, but here I will not choose a list, I will choose no list, clear selection. So I have no selection in the list, and I will give it a path to the backup file, First I put the name of my server and the backup file, I will call it site underscore IT, and I will give it CA, indicating that this backup has been made by central administration. Sure, you can export full security if you want to export the security on the permission of the site, and export all versions of the documents inside the site. Okay, and click start export. This screen is refreshed automatically, and now if you go to the backup, you will find it start a backup site and a log file and many files, really, if the site has many documents and content. Now let me show you how to backup a site using the PowerShell. I also have a PS1 file here as a script. I will drag and drop in PowerShell, but let me show you first what is inside this script. It is the same commandlet, export SharePoint web, but in this time I won't give it item URL as I did to indicate the library or list in the previous demo. I will give it only the path to the site, and I will include security, and I will include all versions, all, and give it path to the file in the share backup folder. Okay, the attribute force means if there is it means overwrite, like overwrite in the graphical user interface. Okay, let us try the script. Yes, I only just drag it and drop it here and press enter, and it will work, and you will find it in the backup site here. Protection at site collection level. Now let's go up one more level. How to protect your site collection. You also can use both central administration and PowerShell commandlets. Let me show you. In the central administration, choose backup and restore from the left. Under granular backup section, choose perform a site collection backup. Choose the site collection you want using the arrow when it appears. Yes, here if it is not, change the site collection and choose the site collection you want to backup. And in the file name, give it a path to SharePoint 10.01 backup, and a file name like site collection, and I will give it indication like CA as central administration backup to indicate it from the PowerShell. I will make it after that and back. Okay, I can also overwrite the existing file if I check this. Okay, start backup. This screen is refreshed automatically, and you will find your backup files in the backup files here. Site collection. After you start, you'll find site collection backup here. Okay, you can organize yourself more than that. Of course, you can make a folder for every kind of backup. It's better. And you can run this script through schedule in your server. Now let me show you how to make the same backup of site collection but using the PowerShell. The command is backup sb site, and in the identity I will give it the path to my site collection. So easy. And in the path I will give it the path to the file it will be back up to. I'll indicate it by _ps dot back, and of course force to overwrite the file if it is existing. Let us try it. Okay, in my PowerShell I just drag and drop it here and press enter. It will work, and now you can find it in the backup folder here. Okay, after a while you'll find it here. Here it is. It appears. Okay, and the mini files, of course, it will appear. Protection at farm level. You also have two options to do that, through the central administration or scripts for PowerShell. Let me show you that. Now let me show you how to backup the whole farm. First I will create a folder in my backup folder called the farm, because in this time the full backup of the farm create a folder and a file, so it's better to have it in a folder. In fact, it's better to have every backup in a folder because it creates many files. Okay, in the central administration I will choose backup and restored from the left, and from backup and restore I will choose perform backup. You can choose components to backup from the farm, but if you want to backup the whole farm, just choose the farm option and all will be selected and click next. In this section you have to choose the kind of backup. You can choose the type of backup, full or differential. Full means backup the selected content with all history. Differential backups, all changes to the selected content stands the last of all backup. I guess it is so I give it in this time. I don't give a backup file, I give a backup folder to backup. Here I give it a folder called the farm, okay, because it creates a file and folder subfolders. Then just click start backup and let it work. It will take time of course, and in the farm it will appear after a while, of course. Yes, it start to backup. Here is an XML file and a folder containing many files, SPR, SPBR, okay, with many files. Okay, this is our farm backup using the central administration. Now let me show you the script to do the same farm backup using the commandlets for PowerShell. The commandlet is backup sb farm. Notice that this time I called it directory, not path. Okay, the attribute is directory. I only give it a directory because I give it a directory, a folder, not a file. Okay, and I will backup method, it is full. Okay, that's all. SQL Server backup. The second place you should go and backup your data is SQL Server. First, you have to set recovery model for your database. The first thing you should do is to set the recovery model of your SQL Server databases. I won't go into details here, but I recommend that you set the recovery model of your content database to full. Let me show you how to do that. In SQL Server Management Studio, right-click your content database and choose Properties. Choose from the left options. Then in the recovery model, choose full and press OK. That's all. Decide backup type for each database. You have many backup types in SQL Server. You have to decide with your SQL administrator which type of backup you will perform regularly. Will you perform a full backup every week and a daily differential? It depends on how fast you want to recover your SQL Server back. Backing up database. So, what database you must backup? Your system database, like master and the MSDB, are small database. You should have regular copy of from. They are so essential for your SQL Server. Also, you can backup your SharePoint services database, so you don't have to create and configure your services again in the case of failure. The most important is your content database. You should backup, although when you backup your SharePoint site collection or farm, you can recover them and create back all your databases again, but it is so important to have a backup from your data in SQL Server too. I will show you later how could you use the database backup in case of a failure of your SharePoint backup. So it is important to have redundant backup of your data. Let me show you how to perform a manual backup to your SQL Server database. Okay, I have created a backup, a database, a folder called database here on my backup. In the central administration, I will right click my content database, choose tasks, then backup. In the backup, in the destination section, I will remove this destination and I will add, select backup destination. I will choose file, and I will refer it to the backup database folder I have created, and I will call it my content db dot back. Then I press OK. OK. Then I will select it and say OK. I should find my file here after completing. IIS backup. Backing up IIS is so tricky. Your SharePoint restore process will create your website again if you are restoring a full farm backup or site collection backup. But be careful. If you customize any file outside SharePoint, like web config file, for example, you must have a backup from any customization you did outside the SharePoint central administration. But also, what if there is only a problem with IIS configuration? What would you do? Will you restore the whole farm to get the configuration back? In fact, the backup of IIS file and configuration are so easy, and recovering IIS from failure is a one-step recovery. So let me go through with you what you should backup in IIS. Backup IIS virtual directories. The path of all web applications by default, unless you changed it manually, is in this path you see. Let me show you where the virtual directories of your web applications reside. In the C drive of your server, you will find a folder called init.bap. Okay, inside it you will find www-root, then WSS, virtual directories. Those are all your web applications, and I have this is for my central administration web applications and so on. So go and take this directory, all it, and keep it and make it one or part of your system backup every day. Backing up IIS configuration. In IIS 7 there is no graphical interface for backing up configuration, but it is so easy to do so. Let me show you the steps to back up the IIS configuration. Now let me show you how to use your command line to back up your IIS configuration. It is so easy and it's one command. Okay, right click your command prompt and choose run as administrator, and go to the directory where the application, which is called app command, is reside. It is reside under the Windows directory. So I will write change directory % windir %. This is the variable for Windows directory. Then system 32, then init srv. Okay, here I am inside the directory where is the application command is reside. I will write app cmd app cmd, then add backup space and the name of my backup. Let me call it Said backup 2014 number 1. Okay, and press enter. If I want to see all the backup I have made before, I app backup app command, sorry, and then list backup. It will give me the list of all backup, and I will see here my backup. Let me show you. First I change the directory to the init serve back folder, then I use it app command add backup, then the name of my backup folder. Okay, if I want to list all my backup I had made before, this is all the backup I have made and the system had made the before. Here is on the top side backup 2014 number 1, and this backup I can find on my C drive of my server, under Windows, under system 32, under init serve. Here I have a folder called backup, and here is my backup. Take this backup, okay? I will show you how to restore it in the disaster recovery section, okay? Before I leave this section, I want to show you how to schedule your backup. The scripts we wrote so far run very well with the SharePoint Management PowerShell, and you can drag and drop the .ps1 file to the console to make the scripts run. But to schedule your scripts, you must make it run with the Windows PowerShell. To do so, you have to add 2 lines of code to your .ps1 file. The first one, add the SharePoint snap-in to the PowerShell session so it can understand that the commandlets belongs to SharePoint. The second is for changing the execution policy. Then after, write your commandlet of backup. Let me show you how to step by step. If you, for example, want to make schedule for a backup of your IT site every Sunday, what should you do? Okay, let me show you an example. Okay, I have created a Sunday folder here to receive every Sunday backup of my schedule backup. Okay, and I go and I made a folder called scripts, and I created a script called backup underscore site underscore it.ps1. Let me show you first what this script had. It has 3 lines. Okay, the first line is add ps snap-in, and between 2 quotations I will write microsoft.sharepoint.powershell. This will add the snap-in of SharePoint to the PowerShell, the Windows PowerShell. Okay. The second is set execution policy, and in the attribute execution policy I will have unrestricted between 2 quotations, and I will have the attribute force. This allow the execution policy to allow you to execute your commandlets. Now the PowerShell is ready for any commandlets concern the SharePoint. Then write whatever you want to schedule. Here I use the export SharePoint web to backup my IT as I show you before. Okay, let us now go, and before we schedule, let me try the script first. Okay, I will open this time not the SharePoint management shell. I will open the regular SharePoint, the regular Windows PowerShell. Okay, and I will drag and drop here. Okay, and press enter, and I will go to my Sunday backups Sunday to see. Yes, it starts working as you see. Yes, whenever you make a backup from a script, you will find the name of the backup file .export.log. It's a text file. When you backup a file, when you backup a site, it shows you the steps it takes to export your site. And when you make an import, you will find the same log file with the .import.log file. This is text files, show you if there is an error in backing up or restoring of the site or the library or whatever. Every time you do an operation, export, import, backup, restore, you will find .log file. Every time you do that, that shows you the steps, and if there is error, you must check to see what error is in. Okay, let us now delete all this file and schedule our script to run. Okay, our script is checked now and it works well. Okay, I want now to schedule it to run every Sunday at 6 p.m. Okay, what should I do? Okay, I will go and to administrative tools, task schedule. Okay, and I will create a basic task. I will say backing. I will give it a name, backing my IT site, for example. Okay, and you can give it a description. Okay, please press next, and in the trigger I will choose weekly because I want it weekly, and I will check every Sunday at 6 p.m. Okay, I will change it to be p.m. Okay, every Sunday at p.m. at 6 p.m. this script will run. So what action would you like your task to do? Okay, I will choose start program, then press next, and simply in program and script just write PowerShell. That's all. And in add argument, which is optional, just write the path to your .ps1 file. My ps1 is on C drive on scripts folder, and its name is backup underscore site underscore IT, I think. Let us check it. Okay, yes, site underscore .ps1. okay, .ps1. okay, so that's it. In program, PowerShell. In the add arguments optional, the path for your .ps1 file you want to run. Okay, then next. Okay, finish. That's all. Let us try it now. Go to schedule library and right click and press run. Okay, and go to the Sunday folder and see if it works. Yes, it is working. Yeah, it's working. Now it's giving the backup. So your schedule will work well, and it will run every Sunday at 6 p.m. Disaster scenarios. So far we have going through how to backup your data from different places and in different ways. Let's now answer the difficult questions. What should you do in the case of disaster? I have prepared 13 disaster scenarios you might face in your site. I guess I covered all cases that you might have. Let us go one by one, and let me show you practically how to recover your data and how to get your system back alive and running. Bad item update. The first disaster I will discuss with you is how to recover from bad update. Let me show you. here is in my library of IT doc, I have project plan file here. That has been by mistake updated by a user, but it is user level. It's so easy. If you want to get it back to an older version, it only click here and see the version history of that file, as you see, and as you see who did modified it before and the time of modification. He can choose any of it and click restore. So he restored his old version of his file. So easy. It is a user level protection. The second disaster, deleted item. What if the project file has been deleted by mistake? You have two levels to restore, from the site recycle bin or site collection recycle bin. Let me show you. If the project plan file has been deleted like this, okay, I can go and delete it. You have two-step recycle bin. The first is the site recycle bin, and it is available to the user. So if, for example, the project file has deleted by mistake, the user can click the site recycle bin here, and he will find his file resist here for 30 days by default. Okay, he can select it and choose restore selection. Yes, okay. So if he got back to his library, he will find his project plan Excel file still there. The items stay for 30 days by default in the site recycle bin, or as you have adjusted in the application web general properties, as I showed you before. So what if the 30 days were passed, or the item has been deleted on purpose from the site recycle bin? Let us go to this scenario now. Okay, I will delete it here. Okay, and I will go to the recycle bin and delete it. Delete the selection. Okay, so it will go really to the second step of recycle bin. In the site collection recycle bin, only site collection administrator can now recover the file in this case. So if it is the case, the site administrator can go to the site collection root site, here it is, and go to the site action and choose the site settings, and from the left choose deleted from the user recycle bin. And you will find your file here. Just restore it back to the user, and when the user go to his site IT and iDoc, he will find his file back again. Disaster number 3, item completely deleted. So what if the file or files has been deleted completely from the site collection recycle bin too? Let me make it more complicated. What if the user deleted the project file, and then after that many files have been added to the library, and now the user wants his file back from an old backup of his library? So in the first thinking, getting the old backup means that the library will be as it was in the time of backup. It means that new work of the people that the library, since the backup will be lost. Wow. Don't worry, I have good news for you. Let me show you. Here is the scenario. Here is in the IT doc library, the user has deleted the project Excel file. Okay, let's go and delete it. Okay, and it was deleted from the recycle bin and from the site collection recycle bin. Okay, and after that, the users of the IT department has added many files. Let us add some files here after the deletion of the project plan library. Okay, I will go, I have documents here, my desktop. Okay, I will add a PNG file, for example, and I will add a workflow file, presentation, PowerPoint presentation, for example. Okay, so the user has deleted his file, and the users of the IT library, IT doc library, has added many files after he had deleted. Now the user asked me as an administrator to restore the project file from a backup. So I will go now and recover the library from the backup I took with you before. Okay, in fact, there is no GUI mode for available to restore library site or site collection, so you have to use the PowerShell. I have written a script here and save it as a PS1 file. Let me show it for you first before I run. If you remember, I have a backup called library underscore IT doc back. Okay, let me now run this script. I say import SharePoint web identity. I give it the IT path is the my path to my backup file, and it's ready to be run. Okay, let us run it here. Press enter and wait until the whole library has been recovered from our latest backup. Now, after the process of restore of the library IT doc imported from the backup or the exported files I did before, let us go now to our IT doc library and refresh it and see what is the result. Okay. Wow! The surprise! The project plan file is around from the backup. Beside the workflow PowerPoint and the workflow image that I have added after I have taken the backup, it's all there. In fact, we don't call that backup and restore. We call them in commandlet and in the center administration to export and import. And this is happening when you backup or export and restore library or list or site. So what if the list or library has been deleted by mistake? No problem, as long as we have backup. Let me show you how to restore the complete library. Let us delete the IT doc library. Just take a look first. We have this project plan. I have my backup till this file. The workflow, the two workflows file here is not included in the backup. Let us delete the library and see what will happen. Okay, I will go to library settings and I will choose delete this document library. Okay, it's the first choice. Okay. So we do not have now the IT, the IT doc library, and it is deleted from here. Okay. Let me show you now how to restore it. Okay, I have a script to restore it. Okay, let me show you first what the script say. The script say import sp web, and the identity I will give it the path only to the IT website, and in the path attribute I will give it the backup file which I will use. Okay, the path to my it is the same really, the script to restore a website. Okay, you use the word import and give it the path to the website where the library will be restored, only the website. Okay, and the path of the backup file. That's all. To restore the security back, we will add attribute include user security if you want that. Okay, let us try the script and see what will happen. Okay, I will open my SharePoint management shell first, and as you see it run in administrator privilege, and I will drag and drop my script and see it works. Okay, okay, drag and drop, then press enter. By the way, all the scripts I showed you here will be available in a link under the description of this video on YouTube. Okay. Okay, it's a log file created, and the restore has finished, as you see. Okay, okay, and it show you the lookup file. Okay, let's go to our site again and refresh the IT site and see what will happen. Okay, it appears again here. IT doc is appearing again. Okay, let's click and see what is there. Yes, in this time we do not have the new files. Yes, because we deleted the IT doc library completely. So you will only see the files that were there in the time of backing up. Disaster number 5. Site deleted. Continue in the scenario. What if the site were deleted? Here you have two situations. First, if the site is still there, but you have lists or libraries have been deleted and you have only the complete site backup. In this case, you will restore your site over the existing site, and the lists and the items with the old versions of files will appear beside new files added, as we saw in restoring library over existing library. Second, if the site is completely deleted, in this case you have to do two steps. First, create the site again, then restore the backup to the new created site. Let me show you. Now I will go and delete the IT site completely. Okay, I'll go to the IT site, then in site action, site settings, I will delete this site. Delete the site under site actions. I will delete this site. Okay, so I do not have an IT site. Okay. Okay. I confirm and say delete. Okay. Okay, so I go to my parent site. Yes, I do not have a refresh. I still had this link, but there is no site called IT. Okay, let's restore it now. Okay, I have the script here to restore this website. Let us show it first. The first one, now I do not have an IT website, so I have to create it first. So I will say new SharePoint web URL and give it the path to create an IT site. Then I will import the backup that I made before with you and into this website. If you didn't delete this site and want to import your backup to an existing website, you do not have to write the first commandlet. Okay, so you have to write now two commandlet. The first, create the IT website. The second one is to import the backup to the new site you have created. Okay, let us run our scripts. Okay, I will drag it and drop it here and press enter and delete it. Works. Again, all the scripts that I write here will be available in a link in the description of this video. The first thing it happened right now is that the site has been created for you and it appears in the SharePoint management shell now that it had created a new site called IT. The second now is restoring the backup file. So let me pause the video first now till it's finished. Now it has finished and tell you that it has the import.log files in beside your backup file there. You can go and see, and if there is error you can find it in the log file it created. Okay, now let us check our site now. Okay, I will go and click on the IT. It's back again and running, and the IT doc that I am concerned is there, but to the time of backup the new files will not appear to the time of backup. Our sixth disaster is site collection deleted. What if the site collection has corrupted or deleted? You have two situations here. First, if you want to restore your site collection backup to an existing site collection. Second, if you want to restore your backup to another location. I mean restoring a site collection to a separate SharePoint server, or restoring the site collection to the production server but to a different URL than the original. In this case, you must first create a new content database, then you can restore to this database. Let me show you the scripts for the two cases. Let me go with you step by step in the two scenarios. If you want to restore your site collection backup to an existing site collection, use this script. Okay, restore SB site and give it the path to your site collection. It's the web if it is not the site collection, and give it the path to your backup file, and you add this confirm $false. This confirm colon $false is to protect you from, or to prevent the scripts from asking you for confirmation, and the false is must here to restore it to an existing site collection. So I want you, this is so easy, but I want to try it with you. I will try something else with you because it won't show you anything now if I restore it to the same site collection. I will go now and go to the other scenario. What if you want to to restore your site collection to a new place. Okay, I will go now to the central administration, and I will create a new website, manage web applications, and new website, and I'll give it, for example, the port 5000. Then I will restore my site collection to this place. Okay, let us show it 5000, and the port is 5000, so it's easy to reach, and this is the path to. Okay, and this is the URL I will use. Yes, okay, and the database I will call it WSS content _ 5000. Okay, I will create a new site collection. Let me pause the video. Now I have created a new web application called SharePoint -5000 with the port 5000. Okay, this is the scenario as you are moving your site collection to a complete new server. Okay, and this is the path of my new site, which is empty now. Let us show the script that I will use. I will first create a new database. Okay, as you see, and I will connect it to the web application that I have just created now. Then I will restore my backup file to that site collection and give it to us, and I will use the confirm $$ false and force to save me the confirmation questions, and I force it if it was there. Force here is not necessary. Okay, let us run our script now. I will go drag and drop it here, then press enter and let it work. It will take time, so I will pause the video. Finally, it has finished, and it shows that it has created the database and restore the backup. So let us go now and check our new site. Yes, SharePoint. This time I will try 5000, the new site. Yeah, it's up and running this time. In the new place 5000. Yes, and the IT department is still there. Yes, and the IT doc, of course. Yes, that's it. Farm corrupted, our 7 disaster. Now, what if the whole SharePoint server failed? We have 2 options here. First, get all your farm backup from a backup. In this case, 1, install your SharePoint server again. 2, connect and configure your farm. 3, go to central administration and restore all your farm from the backup you have. In this case, all your site collections, services, configurations will be restored. Second option is to install your SharePoint server and create new farm, then restore your site collections one by one to the new farm. I have showed you the second options in the last session, so let me show you the first option for restoring the complete farm. You can use either central administration or PowerShell, by the way. If you want to use the central administration to restore your farm backup to the same location from the left, choose backup and restore, and then choose restore from a backup. Okay, if you have a new farm, you won't see this farm, this history. You won't see this. So go and write the path to your farm folder backup. Just remember, in the case of a farm, we do not backup or restore from a file. We backup and restore to a folder. So if you perform a farm backup before using central administration, you will find a history here. So you can select a farm here. Or if you are coming to a new server, just put the path to your backup here and press refresh. You will get the same result. So press next. On the restore from backup, step 2 of 3, select component page. You can select what you restore. In this example, you want to restore everything from the latest backup, so select the farm checkbox and click next. On the latest page, restore from backup, step 3 of 3, select restore option. You can select the backup options. For example, you can choose only configuration or data and configuration, change the user account names used as service accounts here, yes, for example. Change the database server name, and a lot more of options really. In this example, you want to do a complete backup to the same server as before. So follow these steps. Make sure to set the type of restore options in the restore option section to same configuration. Click OK to confirm you want to overwrite all selected components. And click Start Restore at the end of the page. The backup and restore job status page opens. You can click Refresh to see the latest status for this restore, or wait for the automatic refresh. It will keep refreshing until it gives you a completed or completed with error, and here is the number of error, and you can go to the log file to check it to see where is the error. All you have to do now is go to your old site collection and old farm and check it. Let us check it if it is restored or not. Yeah, it has been restored, and this is my IT site, and this is IT doc restored to the last backup I have taken this farm backup to. That's it. Disaster 8, system database deleted. If you have your system database deleted in SQL Server, your SQL Server will be down, and all your SharePoint sites is down too. If you have a copy of your master and MSDB database, you can restore your SQL Server so easy and have your SQL Server up and running again. It is really beyond the scope of this video to how to restore the system database of SQL Server. You can find many videos here on the internet talking about that. Disaster 9, SQL Server failed. If your whole SQL Server has failed, of course you won't be able to log into your SharePoint sites or even site collection. In this case, your SQL Server administrator can install new SQL Server with the same name, restore SQL Server from system backup, restore SharePoint configuration database, mostly with the name of SharePoint_config, recover SharePoint services database if you have a backup from those databases, or you should go and configure them all over again, and then recover SharePoint content database. If you did that, you will find your SharePoint system back and running. Disaster 10. Content database deleted or corrupted. If your content database of your site collection has been corrupted, your user won't be able to get into their site collection or subsites. If you have a backup of your content database in a safe place, you can restore it back and everything will be as before as soon as you recover it. So let me show you how to restore your database from a backup. Now, here is in SQL Server. Let's suppose your database has been deleted, or you came one day in the morning and find it suspected. What will you do? Let us delete the content database and see. Okay, here is my content database, WSS content. Okay, I will delete it now. Okay, close existing connections, and I will delete it. Okay, so if you go to your site, you'll get the error forbidden. There is no database. Okay, so everything is collapsed. Now when user try to connect to their everyday site, they wouldn't be able, but if you have a backup for it, you can restore it so easy. I will go now to the SQL Server Management Studio and right click database and then say restore database, and from device I will add, then I will go to the database I have a backup, then I will choose it, and you have to write the name exactly the same as it was. It was WSS_content, then okay. So that's it. That's why you should always document all your SharePoint farm settings. You must have the name of your content database. So in the case of deletion, you can create it with the same name, so you can restore your data back and you can restore your system back. Okay, now let's go and refresh here. Yes, everything has gone, has come back. Yes, great. All your users now can find their sites back again. Disaster 11. Content database deleted or corrupted and you don't have a database backup. What if your database deleted or corrupted and you didn't find a backup of your content database? Or you found it but it is corrupted one? Don't worry, because your site collection backup also backup the content database, and when you restore it, it restores the database again. So here you have two options. First, create new content database with a different name, then recover the site collection. And I have shown you this scenario before. Second, using central administration, remove content database and create content database with the same name. Recover the site collection again. It is the same nearly, but in the second choice you keep the name of the original database. Let me show you now how to remove the old content database from central administration. In the central administration, choose application management, and under database section choose manage content database. Here I want to delete this database. I click this database to delete. To delete it, you must do two things. First, put it offline, then check remove content database. Okay, and press OK. Now it is deleted. That's all. Disaster 12. Farm corrupted. No SharePoint backup. Database content backup exists. Let us go to this situation. Complicated, but it might happen. Now suppose your farm has corrupted and your backup of SharePoint is not around, or you found it corrupted and you have only your content database backup. What should you do? Or suppose you want to restore a library or a list only and you do not have such kind of backup in your backup files. What should you do? Okay, here is how to manage. If you have your SharePoint failed, go create new servers and a new farm and configure blah 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 blah. Okay, now you need a SharePoint site collection or website or even lists and libraries backup to restore your data. How could you get this kind of SharePoint backup from your content database? Here is what you should do. First, go to your SQL Server and recover your content database with a temporary name. Okay, then go to the central administration, restore data from that temporary database, and we called it in this time unattached database. It means it is not connected to any SharePoint site or site collections. You can through central administration extract a backup files for site collection, sites, lists, or library. Now you have SharePoint backup files. Go and recover your data from those backup. Let me show you practically. I will go to SQL Server Management Studio and restore my database with a temporary name. I right click databases and restore database, and I will give it a name WSS underscore content underscore temp. Okay, and I will restore it from my backup. Okay, here is my backup I took before with you. This is okay. Okay, and I will restore my database to this name. Yes, it is an attached database, means it is not attached to any SharePoint site collection or a web application. Now let me show you how to extract backup files from this unattached database. The database must be unattached to extract files from it through the central administration. So it is completed. When I refresh now, yes, here it is. Okay, let me copy its name, so I won't have to remember its name. Okay, so if I go to central administration, I select backup and restore. In the left pane, I will click recover from an attached content database under granular backup here. Here, recover data from an unattached content database. Okay. Okay. I will give it here the database name I want to see, and I verify that this is the database server name that I am using. Okay. Okay, and I will choose browse content, so I can see what's inside this database, and I press next. The browse content page appears. Verify that the correct site collection is listed. Here, this is your site collection. If it is not, go and change. Okay. Okay, most of the time it is not important, because when you change a site, you will find all your site are here. Yes, I have the IT. For example, I want to back up again my IT doc. Okay, it is under IT website. I will change. I will choose IT website first in the site, and in the list I will select, for example, my IT doc. Okay, I will choose my IT doc. Okay, so what I want to backup site collection. Okay, so I can if I just clear this selection and clear this selection, I will back up all the site collection, but now I am backing up just this list. Okay, next I have to give it a path, so I will give it the path of test here one, and backup, and I do test. Okay, and I can choose, of course, to overwrite the existing file if it will, like any backup I take. Okay. Okay, when it finished, it will tell you the status is succeeded, as you see it here. Okay, and if you go to my backup, it will find the IT doc underscore test that I have created, so it's succeeded really. Disaster number 13, and the last one I will show you in this section. IIS has corrupted. It is so simple, but when IIS is failed, it means all your web applications won't work, even central administration. So what should you do to restore your IIS again, and don't have to restore all your SharePoint configurations and database all over again to create your IIS sites? It is so easy. Go reinstall the IIS again, get back the files I showed you to backup that contains the virtual directories, and get the backup file you have made to its place as I told you before. It is shown before you now on the screen. Then go to the command line and use the app command again and restore your IIS configuration. That's all. Everything is running. Let me show you. Here is your IIS. From administrative tools, you choose IIS manager. Okay, not version 6. Okay, do you remember we have backup our configuration before. So what if you come up in the morning and find all your websites have been deleted? Okay, this is my SharePoint 80. This is my website for my site collection. What if I delete it? I choose remove. Okay, yes. What will happen? Let me go now to my site and refresh it. No, there is no site. I have deleted the site, so everything is collapsed just like that. So what if I went to and remove my site collection? Also, if I go to the central administration, the site is deleted. So what should I do if the IIS is corrupted? All you have to do is to reinstall IIS and bring back the files on the folders I showed you before. Then all you have to do is to get back your configuration. You get the IIS running back in a minute. Let me show you in my command line. I will go to, okay, in my command line I will right click and choose write as an administrator, and I will change the directory to the first to the directory when directory, then system 32, then to the folder init srv. Okay, you see it? Okay, here is where reside the application command, app command that I will use. Okay, so I don't remember my backup name, so I will write app command list backup. So all backup list is appear here. So I will use app command restore back up and give it the name of my backup, site backup 2030 number 1. Okay, here is the command again. Yes, restored configuration from backup. Yes, it succeeded. So if I go to my IIS manager here and just click refresh, wow, my SharePoint -80 and my central administration has come back. So if I refresh now, takes time for sure. It takes time, of course, because the IIS starts compiling your web application once again, so it takes time for the first time. It is not coming from the cache as every time you request from the web application. So it will take time to compile the whole web application again. Finally it's back, and also our central administration is back too. Yes, let's check it. Yes, it's back. It takes time to compile the two sites, of course, but it is one straightforward, as you see. App command, restore, backup, and give it the backup name. That's all, and you will have your IIS backup back and running again, and your site is safe. So please take a backup always from your IIS. It's so simple and one step recover, just like that. At the end, I hope it was a fruitful session and it would help you protect your SharePoint system. I would be so happy if I heard from you. I will wait always for your effective comments. Feel free to contact me if you need any help on my email or Facebook. Thank you so much for your precious time. سعيد فوزي.